show you how we made these. On the cheaper side, we are at Floor and Decor. We got the whole crew. Gonna go look for some time. And it kind of to look like beige. Moment of truth. We're gonna install the shelves. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Emily. If you're new around here, I love sharing my love for thrifting and DIY, home renovations, decorating, but we haven't done a home renovation in quite a bit. So if you are new around here, we have a 1970s home. It's kind of like a ranch. Spanish Mediterranean style is what we're going for. And our laundry room, we haven't touched. So my parents came into town. We always end up doing a project when they're here because it's just like enjoyable and fun for us to work on together. So I'm going to share with you all a tour of where we're starting in this space, and then I have a little segment that I filmed of like our Pinterest plans before we dove into everything. So I'm going to share that, and then we're going to go shopping for some tile and get some DIY floating shelves built. It's going to be a good time, I can assure you of that, because I'm already staring at it right here and it looks so good. So good. So I'm just so excited to share this project with you all and so proud of how far it's come already. Let's go ahead and get started with this tour. All right, so here's our before. I'm going to show some things that I really love in the space as well as things that we want to change. So I do love this cabinet a lot. I added this. It is from Facebook Marketplace. It has kind of this Spanish look to it because it has these handles that are like wrought iron. Somebody did like a paint wash on it, so it kind of has a pinkish look to it, which I don't mind because we have the Saltillo floors, and so that has like the pinkish and the orange in it. This is just what happens in a laundry room. Piles of stuff that I'm not using, some rugs and some outdoor pillows, and then the machines are they work, they're fine, but over here these cabinets are the original cabinets, and I'll show you inside. They're kind of falling apart, but they are amazing storage. So we want to still maintain some storage here, but make it a little bit more beautiful as well. And then on this side, I have this like accordion thing that I thrifted, and it's super helpful because I can hang some like laundry as it's drying up here. I have my clothespins here, which I don't really use. I use these for like chip bags, honestly, but they're pretty in here. And then that's where I hang rags that are dirty that need to be washed. I try to wash those all together, and then a laundry basket, and then those are the clean rags in there, and my air fryer that broke, so I just need to get rid of that instead of just holding on to it like a hoarder. I am so grateful that we have a window in here. Like, just to have a laundry room is a luxury, but then to have a window in your laundry room is just like top tier. So I don't love though that this looks out at our AC unit right there, and but I want to like have it open, so I'm thinking of swapping out these lines for a little cafe curtain. It would be a fun thing to add some like really custom fabric, some really cuteness. I want to tell you about today's video sponsor, Foreo. Foreo creates many beauty products. You have seen me talk about Foreo on the channel before, but today I want to talk to you again about the Foreo FAQ 202. This is their next generation of LED face mask. I will put it on for you all so you can see what it looks like, but I want to tell you a little bit about what this does for your skin. So if you've gone and gotten a facial before, oftentimes they use light therapy as part of the treatment. So what Foreo allows you to do is bring this into the comfort of your home and only buy this device once and be able to do it many, many times. So I'm going to show it to you all. So what I love about this is that I can wear this throughout the day. I can go about, it's completely wireless. And so all I do is press this button right here, and it turns on with the automatic red light therapy. And then it actually has 8 different waveforms. And then each of these colors is targeting specific concerns. So I'm gonna take this off so that I can tell you a little bit more about this. Then I'm gonna put it back on because I have actually noticed significant improvement in my skin's elasticity. It just feels more full. Since my pores, I feel like, are smaller. I wish I would have taken like before and after pictures because I would have been the perfect candidate. I really like don't do a lot of stuff for my skin, but this is something that I have added into my skincare routine. So I either just press the button which starts the timer for 15 minutes on the actual device, or I open up my app which allows me to use a full like treatment for different purposes. There's even like a quick 5-minute refresh on there if you're short on time. But what I love about this most is that I can just wear this while I'm like washing dishes, folding laundry, doing things around the house. Many other LED face masks will be like a solid plastic shield pretty much, which makes it hard to move around and everything, and it's not wireless. The FAQ 202 eliminates those problems. So I have a discount code that is GARBY that will get you 30% off even like already discounted items, so they like stack on top. So I hope you all will take advantage of this discount, and I will leave the link in the code down in the description below. And thank you so much Foreo for sponsoring today's video. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at my Pinterest board. So if you've seen our home before, you know we kind of have this Spanish Mediterranean look. It's a ranch style home, so 70s. That's why you saw all those cabinets that are like made of linoleum in the tour. But we're going to be replacing that. So we do have a cabinet from our kitchen. It was kind of one we ordered the wrong size of, and then we couldn't return it, so then we got stuck with it. So we think we'll just use this as well in the laundry room, but then we want to do some floating shelves on the side. So I'll show you some inspiration pictures for. So like you saw, there's no wood in there besides, yeah, there's no wood. I mean, even the cabinet that I have in there is wood, but it's like painted. It has this like whitewash thing on it. So we want to stain the shelves like a pretty dark color, and then have baskets and like pretty items on there, and then have the cabinet where we can put any like things that actually need to be hidden because they're just not aesthetic. So we're gonna keep the sink the same. It's very functional, it works. We use it a lot for all the gross things that happen, so we don't want to replace it with like a really nice pretty sink or anything because it's just gonna get gross. So we're gonna leave that the same. This is on the budget, but we are going to put tile around the sink, because what does get really gross around there is the walls, because right now they're just drywall, and all of the splatter and stuff, it just isn't great next to that without tile. So we have in mind like a really pretty patterned tile, or maybe a colored tile. I'm going to take you along to the store to find the tile in today's video as well. So I'm curious to see that, but I think that can really help pull the like Spanish Mediterranean style, because like their tile options are just beautiful. We already have the floor that is gorgeous in there, the Saltillo tile. We put that in when we replaced the living room tile, and that was found on Facebook Marketplace. So it was definitely a score, a budget-friendly option for a very high-end material. And then I want to incorporate somehow like a curtain into there. I don't know how practical this will be, but underneath the sink possibly to hide stuff, I think that could look really cute. I've been seeing that in, I guess it's kind of like a like English cottage kind of thing. But we do want to have over the sink some hangers. So there's this picture here. There's a few pictures that I have where it's a sink and then they have shelves up above it, but they have a good amount of space there. So we'll have tile that goes all the way up is our thinking. And then we can have a rod there so we can hang things to let it dry. We thought that would be really functional. And then I have this crazy idea. I have a few pictures of DIY light fixtures. Not really like the light fixture itself, obviously, but just modifying the thing that I already have there. So what I have there is now just like this dome. It's very boring. It has like a silver rim around it, or maybe is it black? I don't remember now, but I'll put a picture of it on the screen. But they sell these things that just kind of go over it, but I think I can make something like that. So you kind of just could use like a lamp shade and attach that up there with like a ruffle or something, and cover the bottom of it too, obviously. So that's a possible idea. They even have like a drum one that might look cool. But I could thrift a lampshade and then cover it in fabric that could match a little curtain that's on like underneath the sink, or a little cafe curtain. So those things would make it look really custom, I think. So this is the general design that we came up with. We have our 2 washer and dryer over here, and then the deep sink here, and then we thought we would put the cabinet in the center and then have shelves up above. So these are the floating shelves. We'll have 3 on this side and then 2 on this side, so that we have enough room for hangers, things to dry here. And then this will be the tiled section here. First, we need to get the cabinet that's already here out. You ready? I'm gonna turn it on now, okay? It's gonna be loud. All right, let's go ahead and dive in with some demo. We really have not demoed a space in so long. It's been so long. We've been doing outdoor projects. You guys have seen our backyard, as well as, I mean, we did a ton of stuff when we moved in 2 years ago. So if you missed any of those projects, I have a whole playlist that I will link down below. But my goodness, this cabinet was hard to get out because it was in one piece. So my dad and Dominic managed to wedge it out, but we were so concerned it was going to either like bust through the window or take off like all the paint on the wall, scraping it out, but it got out. Now let's head to the tile store. We are at Floor & Decor. We got the whole crew. Gonna go look for some tile. Oh wow, these are super chic. Similar. So this is kind of a Zalige option. I feel like that's a little bit too much variation though. And then we really like this Zalige-ish option. So the pieces have like a lot of texture, and I love how high gloss they are because that's how traditional, like real Zalige tiles would be. And we could do them like a different pattern, like different brick lay, like this, or we could do them like vertical or stacked too. It's been about 1.5 years since my mom and I tiled our kitchen backsplash together, and these tiles here are new to us. These were definitely not here when we looked last time at Floor & Decor for tiles, and there were some really beautiful colorways. All right, I think we have decided what we're gonna do. So this is the one we were thinking first, but then we found green because this is now looking too coastal. Found the green. Thought we would use this like edge piece, but it's a little bit expensive, and then we found these that perfectly match the sage of this one. We're thinking the vertical to match in the kitchen, how we have vertical tiles laid in like the stack, and it looks really good, we think, with the floor tiles, which are similar to this. They're the saltillo. Mom and I are going to prep this wall because we are going to have open shelving with like the back, the wall, the drywall will be showing through it. So obviously we need to paint the green. We have on the walls Alabaster by Sherwin-Williams, so we're just going to go ahead and do that again. Eventually I would love to do wallpaper, but that is not a budget friendly thing because budget wallpaper is so expensive. But I'm going to go ahead and clean the sink really good, and then we're going to start scraping the wall to make it nice and flat. We're probably going to have to do some, like, fill some holes and then paint. I did find some gorgeous patterns of wallpaper because I couldn't help myself from looking a little bit. And because this room isn't super huge, I think that it wouldn't be as expensive as like a larger room. I'm totally rationalizing this. What do you guys think? Do you guys think it's worth it to wallpaper this room? Okay, so we just have some little drywall holes to patch. Most of them are small. We'll just use spackle, but this one is a little bit larger. So I was just looking at some ways to do it, to make sure it's like strong enough. And some sources suggested using a little bit of paper and like shoving it in there. And then I'll use this tape stuff, this mesh, with spackle on top. My parents are absolutely amazing. You guys know how wonderful they are. My dad's t-shirt. But they came down for a week to spend time with us. We did a lot of really fun stuff. We went to the beach, pool, adventures, went out to eat, just entertained, did lots of fun things. But in between all of that, we were squeezing in this project because it's something that we love doing together. They got it up. Wow, I was getting fancy and down for a nap, but it's kind of hanging on like a cleat system in the back, so they just put a board that you guys saw, I filmed that, and then kind of rested it up on top of that since there's like a piece that had a thicker piece of wood in the back, and that's what you end up drilling through so that you can mount the cabinet on there. Now you can see where on either side of this cabinet there will be the floating shelves. My dad came up with a really good way to create these shelves for a little bit cheaper than they would be, because I want them to be really thick and look really like nice and floating and everything. So he came up with a really strong, structurally
sound way. So I got to work painting. Here's some YouTube magic. Now let's move on to those shelves.
All right, it's very sunny out, but Pop has got the shelves. We're gonna make 5 of them total. But I'm gonna show you how we made these on the cheaper side instead of using really thick wood, because I want them to be substantial. I don't want them to be too thin. I want them to be like 2 inches. So we're making them hollow, and then it's gonna have a faceplate to make it appear like it is a solid piece of wood. So this piece here will be against the back. There will be a piece here against the back and against the side attached to the wall itself. This is upside down right now, and it's going to rest on top of those things so that it can be like hidden inside of this. And then he made little braces inside of here so that it kind of holds it open and gives it structural support. So the advantage to using a plywood instead of a solid piece of wood is that this has a lot more structural stability in a way. Normal wood can kind of warp and do things, but this, since it's engineered, will stay flat and square forever. I got that right? So we are picking up stain, and the options are using something like this that's just the wood stain, gel stain, which kind of sits on top and it doesn't penetrate into the stain, into the wood. And then this is the option that we're leaning towards, which is a penetrating stain, and then it also is a poly, so that it's just like one step together. We're thinking either pecan, this one, antique walnut, or golden oak, and we think that the golden oak is gonna look a little too yellowy. This one might be a little too dark, and this one might be a little too light, so I wish there was like a median. Do you guys have stain recommendations? I mean, you won't be able to help now, but I think that we're gonna go with antique walnut and see how it goes. Okay, it was late, but we want to get to the next coat on. This is coat number 2 with the antique walnut stain, but we want to get this on tonight so that we can hang it up tomorrow and then get the shelves pretty much installed. Since these pieces will just be seen from the under part because the shelf is going to be laying on top, we actually only have to do one small edge, so it's quick. All right, we're on day 3. I'm gonna get this one to sleep, and then hopefully I can get my hands dirty a little bit because things are moving along real quick. We're putting up the floating shelves today, and then we'll be able to get started with tiling after that. All right, now here's the moment of truth. Will it fit? Look at that, like a glove. Nice job, Pop.
Base plate and some smoothing over it will pretty much like a full bore. There should be very little lip on most of them.
So what Dad is doing here is using a hand planer to get rid of the little lip that is between the flat plywood surface and the front plate that was used to make it look like one solid piece of wood. And then to further make this believable, I went in and sanded it really well and gave a little bit of rollover to the front edge of the front plate so that it looks solid and looks real and not like too crisp, if that makes sense. So this is the first stain coat going on, and it was looking good, except I would just say a little tip is to just use more stain than you think you're going to use in the middle, and then just spread it with one stroke. But the first coat is always going to look a little bit worse. And then once you sand it, this is sanded with the first coat of sanding. It will look so much better after you do the second and then the third coat. Of course, my dad came up with a very smart way to let these dry without having to flip them or anything, using some screws into our wooden horses and then resting them on 5-gallon buckets. We've got this is 2 coats. sanded in between each of those, and she's going in with the third coat. And this is what they're looking like with the final finish on them. They look really, really good. I'm so excited to see these in the spot.
Okay, moment of truth. We're gonna install the shelves. We went to the beach today. I did not do good, guys. Very sun-kissed. But we're gonna see how these look and if they fit. I mean, I think that they're gonna fit. Because they were labeled for each one since he custom cut each one.
That's what she says.
This one.
Once they were done drying, we just slipped these down into position on top of the braces. These are into the studs, those side support and the back support. And so these shelves are strong. They are not going anywhere.
3 cheers for Papa.
So since we already had that center kitchen cabinet, this project with the wood and the stain for the shelves came out to $90, which we think is pretty darn good.
Okay, we got the shelves up. Now the next step is tiling. And we're at a bit of a dilemma. So this is the tile that we chose. It's beautiful. I'm so excited for it because it just has this beautiful green, rich color that I'm just excited to like try something a little bit more bold. We've only pretty much done white tile in this house besides the floor, which is the saltillo. So this will be really fun and be on theme as well. So, but we're having a problem figuring out where to put it. So we've just been debating, my mom and I and my dad, and then I even called my mother-in-law. I was like, what do you think? So there's a few options and I want to get your vote as well. And so what we were thinking is that we would cover this entire area behind here. But then once we got it all in, we realized that this would then just kind of like cut off. And it would be kind of strange to have it go all the way up over here because it would just be so tall on this side. Like, because we want it to wrap around to kind of cover where the water is. So we're thinking maybe we could do it halfway, like to about here, and then it would end either maybe like a little bit below, we're thinking, a little bit below the cabinet. And then, but then we're like, where does it end? Because even if we go all the way up, and we still have this weird ending area in here. Like we don't know what to do with that. I mean, we have the little pencil, but it's just gonna be awkward to have like a corner, like a square here. So then we had the idea to, instead of making it accentuate like the unevenness of the shelves, to do this, to go halfway up to here and then continue going all the way across. This is a problem because it's gonna be a lot more work because we have all this janky stuff, just like, I guess it's code that you have to have all of those outlets up above since they're like a higher voltage outlet, so they have to be up above these machines, unfortunately. I was thinking, I tried to convince my parents to we could build like a shelf back there above it and then have like a front lip, so it would have like a thicker front lip but not have anything under, and it would kind of cover up that kind of stuff, but it's technically a fire hazard, like not for code, I guess. So safety first. But I do think that the tile going all the way across would look good. What do you guys think though? Tell me what you think. So option 1 would be like covering the whole thing in here and calling it a day, just like this square. Option 2 would be covering just halfway and then coming down. Or option 3 would be going halfway and going all the way across. I think that's as many tiles as we have. We wouldn't be able to go all the way up and go all the way across. We would have to remeasure it and stuff, but let me know what you guys think because that's gonna be next episode of this video. So if you guys enjoyed seeing this part and seeing it come together, I would so appreciate if you would give this video a like. Let me know which you want to see. What do you think we should do? And then make sure you subscribe so you can come back and see part 2 of this budget laundry room makeover. All right, guys, I hope you all have a very blessed week, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.